Let me guess, your party is a well-oiled, unstoppable machine of destruction. The fighter is an absolute fortress. The rogue's damage is off the charts. The cleric is a world-class combat medic, and the warlock just deletes things. You prep the epic campaign-ending finale for hours, and they steamroll your boss in 2 rounds. It's one of the most soul-crushing feelings for a dungeon master. We have all been there. But what if you could build a boss that's not just a big bag of hit points, but a tactical puzzle specifically designed to challenge the party? Today we're going to fix this. We're going to build a CR16 Fiendish Overlord in 5 simple steps, designed to pick apart that unstoppable party and give them a fight they'll never forget. First things first, don't open a monster book. Look at your players. An unstoppable party always has an Achilles heel, and their greatest strengths often create their biggest weakness. Our example party, the classic fighter, rogue, cleric, and warlock, is a perfect case study. The fighter and rogue are your frontline powerhouses, relying on physical attacks to control the battlefield. The cleric is likely focused on single target healing or keeping everyone standing with powerful, often concentration based spells. And the warlock is a master of consistent single target damage, probably with their signature Eldritch Blast. So, where are the weaknesses? Well, they probably have a terrible array of effect damage. They're super vulnerable to anything that breaks concentration, which would shut down both the cleric and the warlock. And if you could just pull them apart, their whole strategy collapses. The rogue can't get their sneak attack, and the cleric can't be everywhere at once. Your boss needs to be designed to exploit these exact vulnerabilities. Let's talk about the number one boss killer: math. The action economy is brutal. A single boss gets one action. A party of 4 gets, well, 4. You're outnumbered before the fight even starts. It's a 4 on 1, and you're going to lose. We fix this with two of the most powerful tools in the DM's kit: legendary actions and lair actions. For CR16, the Shadow Pact Sovereign will give it 3 legendary actions per round. These aren't just for extra damage, they're for control. They are the solution. One action could be simple: teleport 60 feet. Suddenly, the boss escapes the fighter and it's breathing down the warlock's neck, completely shattering the party's front line. Another could be a wing attack, forcing everyone nearby to make a strength save or get knocked prone, making life miserable for the rogue. A third could be a simple necrotic dart aimed at whoever is concentrating on a spell. That's 3 extra actions around, all designed to disrupt and reposition. This is how your boss starts fighting smarter, not just harder. An epic boss fight shouldn't be just a static punching bag. It should be a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Think of it less like a single encounter and more like a 3-act play. You can trigger these acts when the boss hits certain health thresholds. Our Shadow Pact Sovereign starts the fight airborne, staying well out of the fighter's reach and forcing the party to adapt. The environment itself is hostile. The lair might be filled with shadowy pits that count as difficult terrain or even restrain a player who fails a save. But then, once the party chips away a third of his health, phase 2 begins. With a guttural roar, the boss wings shred, and it plummets to the ground. It cannot fly anymore, but now it unleashes a terrifying new ground-based power, an Infernal Nova, that blasts a massive radius with fire damage. The party's ranged strategy is now toast, and they're forced into a close quarter brawl with a wounded, furious, and even deadlier enemy. This shift keeps everyone on their toes and makes the battle feel alive. Even with legendary actions, your boss is still just one target. You need minions, but please don't just throw in more stacks of hit points. Good minions have a purpose: to enable the boss and press the party's weaknesses. And they don't need to be complex. For Sovereign, let's add 4 Shadow Imps. They're simple, maybe even one hit point creatures. Their entire job is to fly around and harass the backline. Their only action is to poke the cleric and the warlock, forcing concentration saves over and over. They barely do any damage. Their only purpose is to be an absolute nuisance. This creates beautiful, delicious panic. It forces the players to make a hard choice. Do we focus fire the terrifying demon lord in the middle of the room? Or do we waste our attacks on these tiny pests who are shutting down our spellcasters? That tactical tension makes every turn critical. Finally, every great boss needs a signature move. This is the ability that makes your player's jaw hit the floor. And it shouldn't just be about damage. It should be personal. Our boss is a fiendish overlord, the kind of entity a warlock might make a pact with, so its signature move is Pact-Bind. The boss targets the warlock and forces a wisdom save. For a failure, the warlock is restrained, but far worse, their connection to their own patron is severed. For one round, their Eldritch Blast sputters and dies. You've just targeted a player's core class identity and created a moment of genuine terror. But with a great terror, there must be a glimmer of hope. Every great boss has a secret weakness. Our Shadow Pact Sovereign is a creature of darkness, so it's vulnerable to radiant damage. This gives the cleric a chance to be the hero, a way to channel their divine power and turn the tide. It ensures the fight is brutal but winnable, making the final victory feel truly earned. And there you have it, 5 steps to transform a basic monster into a legendary encounter. You find their weaknesses, you solve the action economy, you build the fight in phases, you add synergetic minions, and you design their signature moment with an exploitable flaw. When you use this framework, you stop just running a monster. You start designing an experience, a strategic challenge that will push your players to their absolute limits and create a story they'll be talking about for years. If you find this guide helpful, you know what to do. And tell me in the comments about the most epic boss fight you've ever been into. I want to hear your war stories. Now go build something terrifying.